You want more Packers content, feel free to follow me on Twitter, LukeBeller3. That's where I will be sharing some in-game updates, my thoughts on Twitter. So if you use Twitter/X, make sure you follow me, LukeBeller3. I'll also try to leave it linked in the description. If you don't want to, spend the time typing it out, you can just click the link and voila. So we only have one more night till the Packers face off against the Eagles for the first game of the season. And so I want to give my biggest keys for a victory for the Packers. I did an entire breakdown preview video. This is going to be a little bit quicker, and I want to touch on, I think, that the biggest factors that will lead to the Packers starting off 1-0 in week 1 of the NFL season. First off, the Packers need to stop the run. The last time the Packers faced off against the Eagles, back in 2022 with Joe Barry, you may remember this. You may have blocked it out because it was so painful. The Eagles ran the ball for 363 yards, beat the Packers 40-33. That cannot happen again. And so there's a big question here with Jeff Hafley. What is it going to look like? What is this scheme going to look like? It sounds like it's going to be very disruptive. It sounds like there's going to be a ton of tackles for losses. And now we'll finally get to see what can happen against a very, very good rushing offense who has Jalen Hurts, who has a really insane ability to run the ball at the quarterback position, and Saquon Barkley coming into Philadelphia. So the Packers will definitely have their hands full, but if they want to win this game, they at least need to hold them under 300 yards rushing. Obviously, I'm kidding. Hopefully, it's more like around 100, a little less than 100. And so that's going to be a big part of the game. Second off, if we can stop the run, make them one-dimensional, bring the blitz against Jalen Hurts. He has been, or last year at least, he was really bad against the blitz. When he was blitzed, his passer rating was around 20 points lower last season. Didn't really have any answers. And so the question is, with Kellen Moore as the Eagles' new offensive coordinator, will they have more answers to the blitz? And I think Jeff Hafley is going to test that out. Next off, the Eagles have some injury issues at corner with Isaiah Rodgers out with an injury. He was supposed to be a starter on the outside this season. And so the Eagles will have to decide, do they want to put Ringo out there at corner, who doesn't have that much experience, played maybe 200 or so snaps last year? Do they want to, move their rookie Quinion Mitchell out to the outside, bring DeJean into the slot? There's a lot of questions they have to figure out there with, missing one of their starting corners. And so I think Jordan Love needs to take advantage of this very, very young Eagles secondary. And even if they have a bright future, first games in the NFL, it can be tough at times. And I think that this Eagles defense that struggled a lot last year, they brought in a lot of pieces. They brought in some youth, some talent. But I think Jordan Love is going to take advantage of it, and he needs to if the Packers, want to come away with a win. And I think that this Packers offense is one of the best in the league. I truly believe that. I'd probably say top 5 offense. Maybe you argue they're in the 5 to 10 range. But this is a Packers offense that I think is going to be able to outduel the Eagles with, the Packers having the only side of the ball here with the Packers and Eagles that is the same play caller from last season, with it being Matt LaFleur. The Eagles brought in Kellen Moore. The Packers brought in Jeff Hafley at DC, and the Eagles also brought in Vic Fangio for DC. So I think the Packers have the advantage there, just having the continuity of the same scheme on offense. And now the final thing, the Packers need to make some kicks. That was one of the downfalls of the Packers last year, was Anders Carlson and his inconsistency. He, of course, has moved on, no longer on the Packers, got released. And now Narveson is the Packers kicker, undrafted player, going into his first game of his entire career in the NFL. I really like what I've seen from him in his interviews, and he played really well in the preseason. And so the Packers need to, make their kicks when they have the opportunity, and we'll see what he can do in his first game, and hopefully he can be the Packers kicker of the future. And so those are the Packers' biggest keys for victory. You want more Packers content, feel free to follow me on Twitter, LukeBeller3. That's where I will be sharing some in-game updates, my thoughts on Twitter. So if you use Twitter/X, make sure you follow me, LukeBeller3. I'll also try to leave it linked in the description. If you don't want to, spend the time typing it out, you can just click the link and voila, there it is. But thank you so much for watching. I'm excited for the game. It's going to be exciting. I'll be out with a breakdown recap video. Hopefully it's a happy time and we start off 1-0, but we will see.